Hey everyone, if you're enjoying the podcast, don't forget to rate and review.
Seven Lamb presents Paralyzed. Chapter 17, The Clearing, Part 4.
That's the spot. Right there. She said she huddled there until
she was warmed up?
Yeah, this place has been abandoned for almost 2 decades now. She's lucky she was able to find food.
She was only out there a week, right?
She told me she was worried about traveling too far from the mill.
She didn't want to get lost in the woods.
We had explored where I saw David last night, but found nothing. Now we were at the sawmill where Michelle ended up.
Still can't believe she jumped.
I think she was scared about the thing listing.
No, she was scared about something else.
Monsters? I don't think so. I heard all about her stories. She claimed monstrosity, sure, but she was drunk at the time. Her words.
That water sure would sober her up.
Which is probably why she didn't see any monsters here.
This is pretty far from the water, actually.
She ran through the woods, scared.
I don't know.
You don't know what?
I'm sorry. I don't believe everything in her statement.
Then why would she travel so far from the water if she had already escaped the ship?
People do crazy things in a panic.
No.
Then what?
She was running from something. Her words.
She saw things in the woods?
No.
Okay, then.
But she heard things.
How do you know?
She told me. The small room we entered had one door and one window. It was on the first floor and littered with hay, leaves, and pine needles. There were tons of cloth coverings also lying around, probably for the old machinery.
When did you talk to her?
Recently. It's one of the reasons why we're here.
She claimed that there was a possibility her friends made it. She even said her boyfriend...
Her boyfriend died. It's what made her jump.
But why wouldn't her friends jump? If they truly believed they were in danger.
I just shrugged. Michelle said it was panic. She made a rash decision that somehow ended up saving her life. Now that so much time had passed, she knew her friends were dead.
So let me get this straight. We're out here because this girl, who jumped ship 6 years ago, says the missing bodies are out here?
No, she didn't say that.
Then why?
I'm saying they're out here. We'd hiked several miles today. I wanted to see the old mill where Michelle stayed after surviving the shipwreck. The hiking trail was now covered in so much growth, it was hard to discern. Our backpacks were leaning on a tree just off the path. I went to them and sat. I didn't want to reach into my pack, but my hands were shaking.
You know, it might help to let her in on some of our insight.
What? You're the one who said to keep it low-key.
For fuck's sake, Roland, I think you're creeping her out.
Don't be ridiculous. She doesn't care. We're agents following up.
On nothing. A hunch. A 6-year-old report that was never a case to begin with.
You paid her, didn't you? She offered to take us out, and you paid her. Jake had to pay her because I had exhausted nearly all my funds. I guess I should be nicer to Jake, but it was hard.
I'm not saying tell her everything. God knows I don't want this shit getting out. But she knows something's up and we need her. Right?
Do we? We're out here now.
She's our guide. Fuck getting lost out here.
We won't get lost.
How do you know?
We're going to find the bodies.
How? Why? David? He'll be our guide?
This is the same.
Maybe so, but we're hardly a search party.
I saw David again.
What?
He knows where the bodies are.
Oh, fuck. Please get this out now before Bob shows up and you scare the shit out of her.
I'm serious.
So am I. When did you see him? Last night?
When we first docked by the site.
That's why we explored the other bank, huh? Nothing was there.
I know.
So he didn't show up in your dreams to fucking say sorry for wasting our time?
I couldn't sleep last night.
Not surprising. Look at you.
Thanks.
I think you're hallucinating.
I'm not.
Where's he now, Roland?
I don't know.
Where do we go?
I don't know.
Where are the bodies?
I don't know.
So is there anything else, here?
I don't think so.
I can take you to where she washed up.
You know where that was?
Sure. An arched tree up along the coast. It's not an easy trek, but honestly, I don't know what else to show you, besides some spots where we searched.
Barbara took out a map.
This area here, all along here, searched it. We actually just walked up this area here.
Us?
Yes, today. This was our path.
What about this side?
Searched up and down the coast. After I show you where she washed up, we can head back to the boat and I'll take you further down. So you can see the full extent of the search.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Then let's go.
God damn it. Where the hell is it? What the fuck? 2 whole days had passed, and we were now further down the channel, near the end of the search area. This was where Barbara and company called it quits 6 years ago. We hadn't found anything, and I was going nuts. And now I couldn't find my... shit.
Please tell me you slept last night.
Where are they?
What?
My pills, Jake, where are they?
I don't fucking know.
Jake and I had not been getting along. He was ready to pack it in, which infuriated me because he shouldn't have even been here. And it didn't help that David had not reappeared. Why, David? You were supposed to help me. You said you know, so show me.
Roland, you need to fucking chill. I think we've been out here long enough.
Stop saying that. If you want to go, go. I'm not leaving.
Look at you, you fucking rabbit. I told Ray this would be a problem. Maybe if you tried to sleep, you wouldn't need fucking depressants to keep you relaxed or fucking uppers to keep you going, which, by the way, is a dangerous mix.
You have no idea what I'm going through.
No? I'm right here, Roland. Right next to you. You said you saw David. Well, it's been days now, and what? He just fucking disappeared? Summon him.
Summon him? Those words made me think of the farmhouse. I said the same thing to David when we needed the shadow man.
Roland, your hands are shaking. Surprised you didn't fucking slip in some booze for the hike. You're obviously having withdrawals. We need to go.
Not yet. I'm sorry, Jake, okay? I'm sorry, but not yet.
One more day. I'm telling Bob, one more day.
No.
For me, Roland. I don't give a shit what you do. I don't know what I was thinking coming up here.
What about this?
What?
The guy clearly said he hadn't seen her in 4 days, but she was definitely in town until Saturday.
That doesn't mean he's lying. She left his house. How would he know when she took off out of the city? I was back at work and Moore was showing me some notes from an interview on our current case. A woman had gone missing and turned up dead 3 weeks later in a lumberyard just outside of New Tampa. You weren't supposed to talk to anyone until I got back.
You can still follow up. Fucking, the kid from Odessa can't get enough of this shit.
Yeah, but none of it's usable. Kid just likes to talk for the sake of talking.
That's not true. What about this?
Yeah, but he wasn't even in the area at the time. He said so when we...
Rae!
Captain?
A minute, please.
I'll look over everything you have. In the meantime, we need to finish going over schedules to find out why the body wasn't reported sooner. Okay?
Okay.
I gave Moore a sarcastic nod before going to see the captain, who was strangely standing outside his office, by the far hallway. Yes, Captain.
The feds are here. They want a word.
With me?
Yeah.
The captain took a step aside to reveal 2 agents waiting patiently in his office. Shit. The captain had left me to fend for myself. Regina Torv was a short-haired, flat-chested woman with a consistent scowl. She sat at the captain's desk while Mick Robards, the chubby, toothpick-chewing, smug asshole, paced behind me.
I'm friends with Williams, you know. That's how I know you were up there. Visiting.
Okay.
Do you know Ansel Williams?
No, I don't. I told you I was up there visiting Jake Mazzaro.
Captain said you asked for some time because of your mother.
That's right.
So Jake Mazzaro was an afterthought?
You could say that. If you'd like, you can call my mother or sister.
We don't think you're lying, but we want to know why you were visiting Mazzaro.
Jake and I go way back. I'm not quite sure what you're getting at, but I was in the area and I thought I'd pay him a visit.
For any particular reason?
Sure, yeah.
Well?
Can I be blunt?
Please.
I was looking for a good time. And so was he. We dated in the past, and after all the family drama, I needed a release.
Jesus.
May I now ask why I'm under the microscope?
We know you worked with Detective Emily Roland in the past. We've talked to the captain, but we've been trying to get authorization to come down here.
We're, seeing if she's been in contact with anyone. The captain said you two were close.
Not as close as her and Kent.
Yes, well, we're still looking into that.
If you find anything, let me know. No one's heard from Kent in a long time.
There's some speculation.
Hearsay.
You don't believe it?
I didn't know Kent as well as Roland, that's for sure. But I don't believe he would just up and leave without saying a word.
No one here seems to really be worried.
Roland was.
Yes, we know her stance. So you haven't talked to Emily Roland at all?
Not since she was given leave.
Before Layden Falls?
That's right.
And before leave, did she say anything about David Summers?
Not to me. We were close when we were partners, but once we got reassignments, things changed. Just part of the job, I guess. We sat in awkward silence for a while. My hands were sweating, but I had to keep it up. Listen, I want you to find her.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I think she could clear everything up.
You think she's innocent?
She didn't kill those people, if that's what you mean. And last I read, you had nothing to tie her to the hangings in the woods. No fingerprints, no DNA, hair. I should have probably let the conversation die, but I couldn't help myself now.
She was in the farmhouse.
A lot of them were. David, Julia, that cook.
You've done your research.
It was an interesting story.
We have witnesses for Summers. He shot people in broad daylight. Maybe Roland didn't do any of the killings herself, but she brought him there.
I decided to stop and remain quiet.
We have more people we need to speak with today. Sorry for bothering you, but you know how this stuff goes.
Of course.
If, for any reason...
If she contacts me, I'll let you know. I want her to clear this up. I want to know what happened. We may not be as close as we once were, but she's still a friend.
Right.
Robards handed me his card. And if you find anything on Kent, I'd like to know what happened there as well. I let out a long breath as I left the office. The captain was sitting on an empty desk, waiting patiently. He nodded to me as I passed. Moore was gone by the time I got back to my desk. I spun around to see the captain go into his office. Hopefully that would be the end of those two.
Well,
Nothing there.
told you.
You can vouch for her.
Ray? Of course.
We brought up Philip Kent as well.
Oh, that spark anything?
Minor, but worth a note.
Any word from him?
No. Rumor has it he took off due to some family drama that stemmed from, well, his,
We know. Gay lovers. Strict families.
Right.
A couple of people we talked to seemed to think it was still weird for him to take off.
Ray especially. Pretty adamant about that not being his M.O.
I was shocked myself, but what could I do?
You filed a missing persons report for him?
Roland filled it out. I made some important revisions and signed off on it.
Yes, because she said he was attacked.
His body was never recovered at Terra Lake. Roland's had a difficult past. There's a chance she was, having trouble at the time of,
Here's what we need to know. Why did Kent and Roland have the Rutherford case? That was outside jurisdiction.
Way outside.
So, Kent wanted it, I granted it because he was adamant about helping local law enforcement. Sheriff Barnes is an old friend and has helped us in the past. He needed assistance with a homicide, but the Bureau didn't want it. You should know that. Kent pushed, and even though we were backed up, I caved. Gave them a window for which to operate.
Gracious of you.
Kent needed it for some reason. Never got to ask him why it was so important.
What about Roland?
Roland needed Kent. I tried my best with Roland, but Kent was what she needed. He lifted her up. They had a bond. And I believe when he took off, it hurt her and eventually sent her spiraling back down.
The captain was still talking to them, which made me nervous. I wanted to call Roland, or fuck, even Jake, just to let them know, but I couldn't. Not here, not now. Not that they would answer anyway. Right now, they were in the woods searching, and all I could do was wait and see if they found what they were looking for.
It should be just up here.
Good. My feet are killing me. I looked back at Roland, who was moving slowly, stumbling at times. Hey, you want to rest?
Do you?
What?
I'm fine. But if your feet hurt, by all means.
We're really not that far. Maybe a quarter mile?
Okay. We were heading back to the boat. Finally done with this bullshit. It was pointless coming up here, but it didn't mean I wouldn't dismiss everything. I think Roland had a point with several of the cases, but this seemed too far-fetched. Even if Michelle's story was strangely similar, it didn't mean that there was a definite link. And if we couldn't find bodies, there'd be no way to make a solid case. There were still several names in Roland and Ray's file, so we just have to move to the next one. Or at least Roland and Ray would. I'd head back to D.C.
When we get back, I suggest bandaging up any blisters. Don't pop them. Let them pop on their own.
We camped out last night after heading further down the channel. We found nothing, even exploring areas that weren't previously searched, but no surprise there. Roland had stayed up most of the night. She was looking worse with each passing day. I checked my phone, still no signal. Why would there be? I really needed to talk to Ray, though.
There we are.
We headed down a hill and toward a flat area of marbled rocks. The boat was a welcome sight.
What about the other side of the channel?
We searched over there, Roland.
Back by the mill, not down here.
It's up to you, but there are a ton of different islands. If you plan on checking each one, plan to be here for the next 2 years.
For the first time, Roland looked defeated. She loosened her backpack and threw it in the boat.
Let's just go.
Roland didn't say much as we headed back to Mountain Point, and I had no idea what to say to her. Instead, I kept my mouth shut and looked out at the calm water. The air was cool, soothing. I was tired, so I sat back and closed my eyes. As I was just about to drift to sleep...
Stop!
What? What?
Sorry?
Stop the boat!
What for?
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
I didn't hear anything.
Roland walked past me as if in a trance. Sam, what are you...
Shut up! That Did you hear that?
No. Bob?
No.
There it is again.
I think you may just need sleep. That's when Roland leaned over the side, staring intently at the wood line. As we passed a small rock formation, we were able to see a fork where the channel parted.
You don't hear that?
I don't hear shit, man. What are you hearing?
Turn the boat. That way.
Mountain Point is right.
No, go that way.
What's that way? Barbara shrugged.
The new shipping channel, some islands, vast ocean.
Yes, that way. That way.
You're acting like a maniac.
I don't give a fuck.
So left?
Yes.
Sure. Barbara steered the boat left. Roland went back and forth along the boat like a frantic retriever searching for whatever fucking made a mysterious noise.
It sounds like an animal.
There are a lot of animals around here.
But you haven't heard anything?
No, I haven't.
10 slow minutes passed as Roland continued searching. She was actually making me embarrassed. Something that wasn't easy to do. I couldn't wait to get back to Rae after this so I could inform her of this mess. Hey Rae, sorry to call so late, but we were in the woods chasing strange noises and living off beef jerky because Roland couldn't count on a ghost friend to lead us to the dead bodies.
It came from over there. It was louder.
What was?
The noise.
The animal noise?
Yes.
How could you hear it from so far away? We made our way up the new channel. Roland still staring off into the distance. Listen, I think...
Wait! Look!
Roland pointed portside, towards a long, pebbled coast. There, along the water's edge, a dead animal. What is that?
It's a deer.
It's bloody.
It's a fresh kill.
Bear?
Yeah. Surprised it left so much behind.
Grizzly?
Possibly, but that's odd.
Why?
Grizzlies are good swimmers, but they normally stick to the mainland.
Stop the boat.
Sorry?
Stop the boat. I want to get off.
She just said there was a grizzly in the area.
Jake, I want to get off.
I would have to advise against that.
I don't care. Stop the fucking boat.
Barbara was taken aback, as was I. But she stopped the fucking boat.
Wait a second!
Hold up! But Roland didn't slow. She marched up to the deer and inspected it. I quickly followed as Bob took care of the boat. Hey, what are you doing?
The noise came from here.
The thing is dead. The exposed muscle and bone made it easy to come to that conclusion. The neck was snapped and the blank eyes stared up at the cloudy sky.
I heard it.
You heard it?
Look.
What now? Roland headed for the wood line. Hey, where the fuck are you going? Roland! Sam! Sam! But she didn't stop. She marched into the woods. I quickly followed. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Jake didn't understand. The moth. A moth had fluttered by as I stared at the dead deer. It had to be a sign. It had to be David. It had to.
Will you stop?
Jake followed me as we headed up an incline and over a small hill of dried leaves. The moth continued to head deeper into the woods. It had to be David. I followed, my eyes fixated on the tiny brown insect as it meandered through the evenly spaced trees.
Roland! Fuck it, Roland! Roland!
But I didn't stop. He didn't understand, but I did. Bear or no, this was the spot. This was where we would find. It had to be where we would find. But then, the moth disappeared behind a tree. I lost it. No!
What in the goddamn fuck are you doing?
I slowly walked around the tree and saw the insect. The wings twitched.
Roland, seriously?
But I didn't answer him. I stared at the moth. I put my hand out, wanting to touch it. But no, it took flight again. This time it fluttered over my shoulder.
This is ridiculous, Roland. You can't just do that. There's a grizzly around here. This is dangerous.
My eyes followed the moth over Jake's shoulder and into a wide open clearing.
Not only that, we left fucking Barb back there. You're freaking her out. We need to get back to the boat. Seriously, what is wrong with you?
Jake.
What?
Turn around. He hesitated a moment as he caught his breath. Then he followed my gaze, and that's when he saw what I saw. Strung up in the trees. The bodies.
Holy fuck.
Paralyzed. Written by Robert M. Lamb. Edited by Joe Hawthorne. Starring Amy LeRae as Roland, Catabel as Rae, Jack Austin as Jake, Ariel Hack as Michelle, Brian Messick as Captain Hiltz, Mitchell Beck as Ansel, Mark Karoftis as Oliver. Co-starring Christina Lewis, Ray Rojas, Amber Simpson, Nick Engelhard, Corey Pettit, Jeff Leeson, Chris DeToli, James Brown, Gina Coyle, Caitlin Spring, and Robert M. Lamb. Music provided by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, Eldridge T'Challa of Nemesis Black at ReverbNation.com/NemesisBlack, Amber Lynn Nicole on Facebook at Amber Lynn Nicole, and Brett Wilkins at Wilkins Music FL. If you enjoy this podcast, don't forget to rate and review. Visit 7lamb.com for more audio dramas such as this one. This has been a 7 Lamb production.